During the Second World War, the Germans bombed many big cities in England. This caused great devastation. People's homes and places of work were destroyed. Children who came from places such as Portsmouth, London and Birmingham had to be evacuated into what was thought to be safer places in the country. Everybody had to carry around gas masks. You even had to take them to school. There were air raid shelters at schools and at the bottom of people's gardens to go in when an air raid siren sounded, which meant that Germans were flying overhead and might drop bombs. Sometimes entire schools were evacuated. Children were dressed up in their nicest clothes and each carried a little box full of their belongings. This was a time of mixed emotions for both parent and children alike. Can you imagine being sent away from your family at the age of 5 and not knowing or understanding where you were going or if you will ever see your mum or dad again? The idea of an evacuation was to move the children from dangerous cities to safer ones so they had a better quality of life. During the war, my nana was 7 and she can remember having 2 evacuees having to live with her. They were a brother and sister called Barbara Webster and Leonard Webster, aged 5 and 8. They lived with my nana's family for about 18 months. They originally came from Wembley in London. My nana had 3 sisters, so this meant their tiny house was crowded and the children had to share bedrooms. My nana's mum worked for the WVS, Women's Voluntary Service, and this is how she became involved with the evacuees. After the war, these 2 children were lucky enough to return home to their mum and dad in London. They only kept in touch with my nana's family for a few months despite their generosity, and they gradually lost contact. The evacuation was called Operation Pied Piper, named by the government. Not everybody took part in the evacuation, as some people were reluctant to move on and all send their children away. Around 1/3 of the entire population experienced some effects of the evacuation. In my nana's case, it was having young children to come and live with her. As some of you will know, the book Carrie's War is about Carrie and Nick, who encounter different religions when they are evacuated to Wales. And in C.S. Lewis's novel, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the Pevensey children are evacuated from London to the house that contains the wardrobe that leads them to Narnia.